Roar!
Hello everyone and welcome back to another Pony&Wolf Productions video. My name is Visual Pony and today we are reading the story Teach Me by CombatProductions. It's apparently a story about rock, paper, scissors, a game that ponies can't really play because they don't have fingers. I find the premise kind of quite interesting, so I decided to read it. It's, I try to bring you stories that I find interesting and here it is. Anyhow, here's an amazing list of those amazing people who keep donating to this channel and keeping us alive with that. So, without further ado, let's get into the meat of the story because I am sure that I'm annoying you a great deal by now. Rock, paper, scissors. Please teach me, Anon. 5 hours. She had been following Anon for 5 hours. No Twilight, Anon said. Please, Anon, Twilight pleaded. This small horse had been a pain in Anon's backside for months, constantly asking questions and favors of him. But he will never ever teach her to play rock, paper, scissors. She had overheard Anon and Spike playing it. Anon had taught Spike the game because he was able to play it and he was a cool dude. They both shared a common interest in comic books and Spike had some sick comics. Twilight, on the other hand, she was smart but an utter dumbass at the same time. When she didn't get what she wanted from Anon, she would follow him all day begging him to teach her or tell her about whatever it was. Anon would eventually cave in and tell her, but not this time. This time Anon would be victorious. 5 more hours and she had not let up. Oh, come on, Anon. If you teach me, you won't just have Spike to play with. No! God, this mare was crawling under his skin. She had followed him all day while he did favors for a bunch of ponies around town. She had pestered him the entire time. She even tried to bribe him with a date. She wasn't bad looking, but Anon was no simp. But he did have his eyes set on Princess Sunbutt. Never mind that right now, the point still stands. He will never teach her rock, paper, scissors, for obvious reasons. After 12 hours, Anon finally made it home. He had successfully locked Twilight outside of his home. He had locked all the windows to make sure she wouldn't try and open them. He sat down on the couch, finally relaxing. Anon, please teach me rock, paper, scissors! Twilight pleaded. Anon looked towards where the sound of Twilight's voice was coming from. Her face was pressed against the window with the biggest puppy eyes Anon had seen. He got up and walked towards the window. Twilight's eyes lit up in excitement, thinking he would teach her this obscure game. When Anon got to the window, he grabbed his curtains and threw them closed, blocking Twilight's view of him and the inside of the house. Anon went around each room, shutting the blinds and curtains so Twilight wouldn't be able to see in. Anon sat down again and closed his eyes, trying to fall asleep while Twilight knocked on his doors and windows, begging to get in. Anon, let me in! I want to learn rock, paper, scissors! Twilight begged. She continued to yell, trying to get in. Anon just sat there, thinking back to how he got into this mess. And that's 3 all to me, Anon said victoriously. Wow, Anon, you're good at this game, Spike admired. Anon had been playing rock, paper, scissors with Spike. The little dragon has picked up how to play very quickly and had challenged him to a game every day. Nah, I'm not good, it's just luck, since, well, this is a luck-based game, Anon said with a kind smile. Spike was always a good sport about it, even when Anon destroys him at it. They always had a good laugh afterwards. What's this game you're talking about? It was at this moment Twilight had walked in, questioning what they were doing. Anon had always dreaded this moment would come. Spike had panicked, knowing Anon's thought on the matter. He had ran away and left him with Nerd Horse. I gotta go take my daily nap, Spike said quickly and rushed out of the room. So you're gonna tell me what this game is, Anon? Twilight questioned. Nope, I got things to do. I promised Applejack I would help her collect apples today. Anon quickly said. The sound of hoofs on Anon's roof brought him out of his thoughts. Is she on my roof? Anon asked himself. As soon as he asked the question, Twilight fell down his chimney, tumbling out of the fireplace and onto the floor in front of him. She looked up with a massive grin. Now will you teach me? Twilight asked. She had tried so hard to get to this point, and now she has forced Anon to pull a move that will ruin her life. Fine, sit next to me, Anon told her. She let out an excited giggle and sat next to him. He was disappointed that he would have to do this to her. Okay, follow my lead and do the exact same actions as me, Anon said. Okay, Twilight said excitedly. Anon began to move his fist up and down onto his hand, making the signature moves of the game. Twilight's smile was full of innocent joy that Anon was about to shatter. Rock, paper, scissors, they said together. They both extended their limbs, showing what they had chosen. Anon had chosen paper, and Twilight, well, she had chosen nothing since she did not have fingers. Anon wrapped his hand around her hoof. I win, Anon said in triumph. Twilight sat there, dumbfounded. Anon removed his hand from her hoof and looked at her with a blank expression. But what? Twilight yelled. Now it was time for Anon to pull the killing blow. You don't have fingers, Twilight. You can't win, only lose, Anon simply said. Her expression was one of sadness and confusion. I didn't want to teach you because you can't play the game, Anon explained. Twilight's eyes stayed fixed on her hoofs, utterly confused. Anon got up and walked behind the couch towards the cupboard to grab something. I don't get it, what? Twilight mumbled out. Anon came back around and stood next to Twilight. He put a large cone hat on her head that had the word Dunce hastily scribbled onto it. So, when are you going to get out of my house?